Hello and a very warm welcome to British Guy Reacts. It is such a pleasure to have you. Now, for the very first time, I'm going to react to a movie trailer. It's a historic movie, which is what attracted my interest. It's got fantastic reviews, a lot of attention, so I definitely wanted to check this out. I do plan to watch the film later, and I might even do a kind of reaction to that, or more of a review video, if that's something you'd like to see. So the film is called Sardar Udham. It's actually a Hindi film. It's about the aftermath of the Amritsar massacre. So that took place in 1919. It was a really horrendous, horrific event in British-controlled India, for which Britain should be very ashamed. So thousands of Indians had gathered to protest the arrest of a couple of leaders of the Indian independence movement, and British troops, or Indian British troops under British control, opened fire. And this was a completely an unarmed crowd. There was no violence. The British just opened fire for no logical, well, for no reason other than to clear the protesters. And hundreds, quite possibly over 1,000, were killed. No one knows exact numbers, but a lot of people were killed. But what the film's about is one of those who was, I think, at the massacre, or certainly kind of intimately involved. Years later, so the massacre took place in 1919. In 1940, he went to London, he was in London in 1940, and he shot one of the British officers he held responsible in a public meeting in central London. So, and as a result, he became sort of an icon for a lot of Indian nationalists. So I say it's an incredible story. I mean, it starts with an incredibly sad, horrific massacre, and it kind of you can show how this one guy was pushed to react. So yeah, say I'll watch the trailer, and I hope you find this interesting. So the movie is called Sardar Udham. Apologies if I mispronounced that. And I'm not going to joke around in this because this is a very serious and tragic event. And let's watch the trailer. So yeah, so it's available on Amazon Prime, certainly in the UK and the US.
The Indians never forgive their enemies.
So that's another name for the Amritsar massacre. I think that name's more popular in India, but they refer to exactly the same event. It's just different terms for where it took place.
They strike them down.
Yeah, it was
even after
it was
20
horrendous
years.
what happened.
Gandhi has left Delhi for Amritsar.
Arrest Gandhi.
So this takes place against the backdrop of the Indian independence movement. So at the end of the First World War, there was growing demands in India for self-rule, for independence. And Gandhi was one of the leaders of the movement, but the movement was quite internally divided. I mean, some factions were more radical than others. But the British responded very aggressively, very brutally in this case to the movement. And obviously, ironically, the Amritsar massacre turbocharged support for Indian independence because what took place was so horrific. But that's kind of like the historical backdrop against what's happening. So there's growing pressure against British rule in India.
अगर आप कुछ नहीं किया ना तो अगले 100 साल तक इन अंग्रेजों के नीचे रहेंगे.
अंदर में जब एंटर करोगे तो ये दिखाना.
So I presume that was I presume that's the guy who was affected by the massacre, was present, and then went to London to carry out the assassination. I've got to say, also the shots are beautiful. I mean, they've really, I think they've done a great job capturing the time period. I mean, it's very, the cinematography is brilliant.
I see death, no sleep in years. Monday को church, Friday को cinema hall, or Saturdays को club.
You want the freedom of your people. You should be there.
I fight different way.
तुम चले जाओ यहाँ से.
अगर हमने यहाँ लंदन में ब्रिटिश के हार्ट पे कुछ कर दिया, हमारा मैसेज पूरे वर्ल्ड तक जाएगा.
I should say the movie itself has subtitles, so I think I'm missing a few bits by having the Hindi language trailer. But I mean, the movie itself has English subtitles, so that shouldn't be an issue. Oh! So I think that's after he was. So the guy that carried out the assassination was arrested after it. He was actually hanged eventually. But as part of his interrogation, he went on a hunger strike and he was kind of force fed So I mean, I don't know if that's in the movie, but it got really quite graphic, I think.
What is the next target? Revolution is a dangerous game.
I know I mentioned this before, but the cinematography is beautiful. The way the shots are lit, I think they've done a really, really good job.
We need to set an example, sir. Udham Singh, you? Yes.
Oh, so Uday Singh is the guy that carries out the assassination, that gets revenge on the British officer. I do recognise the name, it just kind of left my mind when I was thinking earlier.
Yes. You're Udham Singh? Yes. What's your real name? मर्डर को प्रोटेस्ट मानेगा या प्रोटेस्ट को मर्डर मानेगा आपका ब्रिटिश लॉ
Oh, so that's where the assassination took place, Caxton Hall, which I think no longer exists. But it was a very famous meeting place in Westminster, central London. So you had lots of big meetings there. The suffragettes used it quite a lot. But yeah, so that's where the actual shooting took place. A couple of people were also injured, so he hadn't just been trying to kill the guy he killed. He'd hoped to kill a couple more. But they were just injured and they survived. But they were also, I think, he held in some way responsible for the Amritsar massacre.
रिवॉल्वर चाहिए Tell people I was a revolutionary.
So that's the trailer. I really want to watch this film. I'm fascinated by the events it's based around. It's a very sad story, but also a very interesting story. I've heard very good things about this film, so I'll definitely be watching it. If you'd like to see me review the film, please comment below. I'll do my best. But as I say, it's I'm really, really excited. The trailer's made me more excited, not just because of the events it's about, but also because it looks like it's really well done, and that's what reviews would suggest as well. So I'm going to say I haven't seen many Hindi films, but I'll definitely be watching this one. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. And as always, please do give a subscribe, like, comment below, and I hope to see you again.